Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your executive summary for the 17th of August. This, of course, is John Seville from the Acorn Wealth Corporation, and what an exciting time we have. Now, we've been talking about the markets having a significant drop here, building probably sometime in September. We're expecting the real impact of this to start catching up. Of course, we can see that we had oscillation back and forth today with an outside day making a slightly lower low, but then kind of breaking out of that consolidation triangle, but on very weak volume. Remember, last week we were down on 4.27 billion, then 3.23 billion on Thursday, and that all just basically dried right up. Only 2.8 billion on Friday, and then only 2.87 billion today. So, of course, China currently at this time of publishing is down. So we could expect the Hang Seng to be in trouble going into tomorrow's markets. And if we look at the Dow Jones Global Index, DJWO, you'll actually see that we see a common trend at kind of just a very weak rally. There you go. So you can see that not the same kind of lift that we've been seeing in the US market. So this could look bullish today, and it could certainly continue bullish for the rest of the week as they try to squeeze the shorts as the plunge protection team puts their fingers all over the market. But I wouldn't be looking for golden pastures in the long side too soon. Nevertheless, a quick review of some of the stocks we've been stock setups that are in play throughout the newsletter and executive summaries currently. If we have a look at NUGT, that of course is the triple on the gold miners, which we looked at as a long at 403 or above last week. Of course, easily jumping through that, rallied up to 478. For those of you who took profit early, that was a nice little double-digit return that day. Of course, it's pulled back to support now, just sitting on 426. So, but money flow just kind of stabilizing here and wanting to break through zero again. So we'll see how that goes. But I'd be looking at this as a short-term play only. RYAM, also another one of the longs, which we were looking at from 1243 up to 1393. Of course, that one easily hit its target just last week, but also tagged that again today. For those of you who were not out of that or still holding on to it, made another good charge at a new high today. On the short side, TROV is definitely worth commenting on. Unfortunately, I got out of this one a little earlier to reposition into some different stocks, but of course this was one we picked as a short potential from 9.94 down, all the way now down to $6 and change. So beautiful, and just still holding beneath its moving averages. And one that I took was trading today, and I'm still holding a position in CMCM. Of course, we looked at that as a short below 24, so already well in the money, but I took a new position in that today, just around that 22 area, and looking for that to play into the weakness of the overseas problems in China. Obviously, a Chinese mobile company could certainly take a hit. So in terms of tomorrow's markets, the one short that I do still have my eye on that I'm not in is SHAK. You can see it's plummeted. I got no real lift from the market over these last couple of days. Money flow is just falling right out of favor, and you can see this doesn't look like it's going anywhere fast. So a break below this kind of low here of 54.11 could certainly bring this to new lows, breaking through this low over here of 48.21. So that could be a really nice option or stock play, which I've got my eye on for tomorrow and the days ahead. On the long side, looking at long potentials, there's three stocks that I thought worth mentioning. Now, of course, when we've got trouble in the market, I always like to look at positions that might be marching to the beat of their own drum, or have the potential to swim upstream and have their own personality. So the three stocks I have for you tonight are all kind of healthcare stocks because of that factor. Now, the first one was ARRY Biopharmaceuticals. You can see this one's had a decent run up, but then also a decent run down from its highs up here at 850. And coming down to these levels, you can see it's just starting to form a possible base right around this 550 level. And despite the big volatility in the market, it's been able to hold this consolidation fairly well. So now looking at the way this is shaping up, you can see that's kind of this consolidation zone here. Bit of a low bit of a bottom there. So now technically could be considered a descending triangle. It could also be considered a possible consolidation pattern. So I'd be looking for a break above 603 on this one, but this could actually, where we've got the high here, 604, so we're looking at a break of 606. But this could be an interesting kind of outlier, where if we do get some strength in the market, it could be set to perform. What was interesting is that we actually got some significant insider buying from a 10% owner, which is Jeremy Green. If you look into the recent insider activity, Jeremy Green just purchased another big bunch of this stock. And now Jeremy Green runs the Red Mile Group hedge fund, which is based out of San Francisco, and 95% of their portfolio is in healthcare stocks, and they have a significant position in ARRY, now owning more than 11% of the company. So this could be very interesting. They've obviously got their finger on the pulse here, they believe, so that could be an interesting possible play on ARRY. Of course, even just a 10% pop, or possibly more. The next one was KERX. KERX Biopharmaceuticals, again, very similar story. You have a look at that massive run up. You can see that the stock's now starting to pull back to some support levels from way back when in 2010. So it's already had a very substantial drop and just starting to try and form some support as well. So this is one to watch as well for tomorrow's trading. It may just pull back and consolidate a bit, but if the market was able to get some strength, these kind of stocks could be a short-term play. Again, even if it just pops up to this level up here around 745 or 730, that could be a nice little 10%er or 8%er, just playing the difference between the 9-day moving average and the overhead resistance. And last but not least, SPNC. Now, this was interesting. This is also kind of an insider story. You can see huge drop, but the stock's now started to consolidate. It was holding down beneath its 5-day exponential moving average, really strong. Then just bumped above it, hit the 9-day, pulled back, didn't drop in these recent days in the market where it was real collapsing, just kind of held there, and money flows now diverging. It's starting to make some new highs, even though we're at lower prices. So this could be a little bit of a wait and see, but there's certainly some room for movement here from 16 up to fill the gap, even up to say 19 or even as high as 22. Now, what I found interesting was actually going in and looking at the insider trading on this one. Now, if we go over to SPNC, I'll just bring it over. You'll see that the most recent purchase was by a gentleman called William Jennings, who just purchased $159,000 worth at $15.97. So we're currently at 1637. And if we have a look at Williams Jennings' history, the other company he's been fairly heavily involved with from an insider perspective, well, not heavily, but the types of purchases he's made as an insider was on ACLS right around August of 2013. So let's go back and have a look at the history of that purchase. We'll go in and have a look at that. Where are we? ACLS, there we go. And we'll just go back and see how prudent his investment was. So that's right about where he bought, right around there at 180. And of course, nice rally up from there to 256, pull back, and has been on a long-term run up from there. So maybe not the most, it didn't go straight up, but it was certainly well timed, considering it's still holding that from what's being reported on the insiders. So so that could be an interesting play on SPNC, and you can see the way that it's basing out. Again, there's a big potential for movement, and looking for a break of the high of that candle, which is 1652, and then be looking at a stop loss underneath here, just below 1567. So those are some of the longs, and of course an update on some of the existing things we're following, and SHAK, a new short for the list. So that is your executive summary for tonight, and of course happy trading, and we'll see you all in tomorrow's trading room and executive summary. Take care and good night.